Hey guys, it's Amy. Hey guys, I'm here. It's Amy. I'm here. If you're here, please let me know you're here. If you're here, please let me know you're here. My lovely short haircut. Lovely short
daughter's been uber busy,
haircut.
So she hasn't been able to cut my hair.
My daughter's been uber busy,
I went and
so
got
she
a cut
hasn't
last
been able to cut my
Thursday.
hair.
After my
So
Facebook
I went and got
Live
a cut last Thursday. After my Facebook Live, and
I have no hair left.
It's okay.
I have no hair left.
I like it shorter.
It's okay.
But this is a little too short. I like it shorter,
but that's all right.
This is a little too short for me.
But that's all right.
I'm gonna color until we get some folks on here. I'm gonna color until we get some folks on here.
I'll be right back.
And I'm gonna take me off the screen. I'll be right back. Find it. Okay. So if you're here, tell me you're here. I'm going to color for a few minutes because we've got a lot of coloring to do today. So I'm just coloring some leaves on my jar of flowers. And if you see the card here, this is what we're going to do today. It's using the Weighted Goat stamp set and the jar of flowers. The jar of flowers is one of my faves, but I've never really seen reason to use it until recently. I came up with a Christmas card that I really liked. And my Christmas card, what did I do with my Christmas card? It was posted a couple of days on the blog, and here's the Christmas card. Isn't it pretty? I really like that. It was great. I love doing this one. But I came up with another one to use for my goats, which is this one, which it's really fun to do. It's a lot of coloring, but it's so worth it in the end. I can't wait to send this to somebody for their birthday. It's just kind of cute. So I'm coloring my little flowers here, and I'm doing them with my blend markers because they're just the easiest and the simplest, and they take so little to dry. I mean, if I did my watercolor pencils, I'd have to put the blender markers in or do actual watercolor, and then it would take time for us to dry. I had to have had it done beforehand. So, and I didn't do that, so we're going to do it with the blends, which is much easier, and it dries a lot faster. So if you're here, tell me hello. I can't wait to see who joins us today. This is the last week that you can order and get a $5 coupon with Stampin' Up! For next month, which is when the new catalog comes live. Yay! You can get coupons for all that stuff. And I know some of you have gotten your catalogs, so if you haven't let me know, please let me know that you got your catalogs, because I love knowing that I paid for you to get a catalog and you actually got it. Otherwise, I don't know, and I feel kind of crappy if you don't get it and I pay for it. So then I have to get Stampin' Up! To send you another one. It becomes a rigmarole, or just mail you another one. So I don't like wasted money. I don't know about you. If I'm going to send you something, I want you to get it. But you know, with the post office, the way it's been lately, everything has been kind of slow and hopefully steady for you. But with this COVID, everything's a lot slower these days. People are going back in time, learning how to be slow and methodical and not instant gratification anymore, you know. I'm looking to see if anybody's here. I will start doing the card in a few minutes. We got another minute before it's 11 Eastern time, 10 Central. I know my NOLA ladies are doing all of the Christmas stuff. They just did a scrap and a crop, and I miss all you guys. I really do. I miss having the camaraderie of crafting together with folks. I know I get to do that here with my friends in North Carolina, but there's been so much going on here with the state that, you know, everybody's so scared of COVID. I know I am, and, you know, I'm almost to the point where I can't protect everybody, and I can't protect myself all of the time. I can just do the best that I can. And so, till then, I'm just kind of staying home, doing a little here and there, taking care of the kids when I can, and that's about it. But the good news is my son-in-law went back to work, so he's actually out and about, and my daughter's still working, which is good. So, all right, guys, it's 11. Let's get this thing started. I'm gonna come back on. And come back on.
I hope everyone's doing well, and again, we're going to do. I hope everyone's doing well, and again, we're going to do using the card that I showed you. Way to goat. It's using a jar of flowers. Way to goat. Is really cute. And a jar of flowers. Jar of flowers. Really cute this way, but I would have never thought to use the jar of flowers. Make a sassy little goat. And I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy from the COVID. And I've got a few friends here that have had some staying healthy from traumatic things happen. I've got a few friends here that have had some well, and everyone's traumatic things happen. And so in the meantime, I'm going to flip over and we're going to get. So in the meantime, I'm going to flip over and we're going to information get to our card. Don't have the details and all of the information right away. This card will be don't have the details or at the bottom of the YouTube right away. It will be listed. So if you need dimensions or any of that, it will be loaded. Also a Slimline. Dimensions, if you don't have it will be good. It's also a Slimline card. So let me, without further ado, let me flip you over and we'll get back to the card. So let me, without further ado, let me flip you over and. Okay, now we're back to the card. Excuse me. Hold on a second. There's another one. Oh, whew. Okay. So now I'm back to the card, and hopefully I didn't just lose you. Oh, nope, I didn't. I don't think. I was just making sure we didn't miss any comments. So what I'm doing right now is I'm coloring my flowers that are going to go on our little jar up here. And I'm going to show you how to shorten your jar from this punch right here. This little punch right here. I've got some of the jars right here. These little jars. I'm going to show you how to shorten them so they can be short little jars for you. Well, let's get this color because we're really going to need this colored, and we're going to need at least one more goat colored. So I'm going to color these real quick for you in my blends, and I'm going to use some pink here. Next, this is Flirty Flamingo I'm going to use next. Oh, hold on. A bigger brush. And I'm going to put the Flirty Flamingo right here. My Flirty Flamingo has seen better days. I probably should get a new one. But we also have we finally came out with a Melon Mambo blends, which I'm really thrilled about because there was just missing something in the base. That bright, bold Melon Mambo color. Which I'm just trying to stay in single family colors for these flowers today because I'm not into, I want to show off the goats, not the flowers. I mean, not that I don't want to show off the flowers, but you know, my standout I want to be my flowers today. So now I'm using the dark Flirty Flamingo to go in and put some highlights and some dimension to my flower here. And I tend to stay right on the edges, you know, where you would see that shadowing from your flower. Like this would get shadowed from the red. And we just keep a coloring. All right, and then I'm going to go back over it with my Flirty Flamingo. This is the way I do most of my coloring, is I put the base color, the light down first, and then I come back in with the dark, and then I blend it all in. And then if it still needs some darker shading, after that dries up, I'll come back in and add some more shading to it with the darker colors. And let's see, I did red. Let's do some yellow then. I didn't get out my purple. And this is the light daffodil. I'm going to make this one back here red or yellow. Even though I think it would probably be better poppy, but you know, that's me. But I'm trying to go different. I've got it poppy up here. Poppy and then Highland Heather. But I'm trying to do bright, bold flowers because this is, for me, it's a birthday card, you know. Really happy birthday. Like this goat is eating flowers, really. That is just too cute. Oh, ooh, that's bold. Yep, it's dark Daffodil Delight. Let's get the little one out here then. So I want it to not be so big. Such a big line. My tip is messed up. So I'll have to fix that. There we go. Back in with that light again. And blend that in. And I'm trying not to get some of the light that I've done so that it stays
really light and you see the difference. I can always come back in with my blender, the clear blender pen, and come in and lighten up. Like here, I want to lighten up some of these leaves right here. And you won't notice it right away, but it will lighten up in some of this. And let's see, what color should those be? I really think we should use another color, but I'm going to put them in pinks and yellows. So we're going to do a pink over here. Just a single color of pink, I think. And then I'll do this one as pink as well. And then I'm going to add the yellow in here. And I thought I brought more blue, but it did not bring blue. So let's add a little dimension to this one. Just in the center. It's so dark in the center. There we go. And some dark in this one. And this one is going to be the one that takes us the longest. You see my Flirty Flamingo is dying. I think I bought another one, but it hasn't gotten here yet. So we can't put the dimensions in much on this one. Okay, now I'm going to get some blue. I don't know which blue I pulled up. I did dark Seaside Spray, and I'm just going to add it to all of these little sprigs here. Because, you know, we just need a little different color. And then I'm going to use soft, light Smoky Slate for this over here. And I know it's probably not the best color choice, but that's okay. We're going to put some over here too. I don't know, I had, when I was a kid, Mom had a plant that was almost gray. I don't remember what it was called, but it had the little dollops like that. Like a money tree or something. I don't remember what it's called. I didn't really care about plants back then. So, okay, now we've got this color. So what you're going to cut out is you're going to cut out, I've got 3 goats that we're going to use. On the inside, I have a goat on the inside. And I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday in here. So we're going to, this is the Forever Greenery or Forever Fern DSP. I get all tongue-tied. And then I have a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock, and then I've shaded in my circles, and it's cut with the layering oval dies. So here's the stamp sets that we're using, and the punch, of course. I'm going to move these out of the way so we have a little more room to work. First thing you're going to want to do is I'm going to move this card out of our way so it's not going to get all messed up. First thing you're going to want to do is cut out your base. This here is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. I've cut off 4 inches on the long side, which is the 11-inch long side. I've cut off 4 inches completely across. So this will give us 7 by 8.5. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze again. Excuse me. No, I just took my allergy medicine. It has to be 10. And then I score it 3.5. So this will be 8.5. And 7 scored at 3.5, so it will be 3.5 by 7 for a slimline card. Now I will put those dimensions in there. It is super easy, especially with an 8.5 piece of cardstock. Now a lot of people like doing these with the 12 by 12 paper because you can get more than one. I like it because if you wanted to use the extra piece that's cut off, you have a base to use for something else. But I use my bases in thick Whisper White cardstock just because they stand up, they feel more sturdy, and most of the people that I actually send cards to are people that are going to keep them. So I want them to hold up, to be able to be kept and, you know, used and looked at and enjoyed. Then you're going to take a piece of this Forever Greenery, which I've already cut my piece out here. It is 8 1/4. It's 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. So you're just going to have that one little piece all around. And then I took my layering dies and I put them in the center. Granted, mine are very off. They're not as good as they were the first time. But I was trying to quickly get this put together so we could do this today. And yeah, they're a little off, but that's okay. It won't look bad once you have everything done. You won't notice it. It'll just be perfect. So what we're going to do, move these out of our way. We're still going to need to color some guys, but we're going to lay this down here just so we know where it's going to be placed when we glue it down. I think I want this heart on this side because that's where my sentiment goes. So I'm going to flip it this way. And we're going to put it right there. Now for me, I like to take a pencil. I just take a pencil and I kind of go around these ovals. Whoops. And it's okay if you get over it because you can erase this out. We're going to color in those circles a little bit just so it gives it some dimension. You really don't have to worry too much about doing the flower one because you don't see much of it, which in my first one, I noticed there was just strictly white around it. I don't like that, so I'm going to actually make sure I put some color in there. Now I have those circled, so I know where they're going to be on my cardstock. And I'm going to take a sponge of Balmy Blue, and I'm going to sponge my sky. So let me get my sponge here. And it's okay if it goes outside of your circle because you're going to cover that circle up. So I'm really truly just trying to stay in my circle and go a little outside of it so that I know I have the whole thing covered up. And it's okay if you get it, and I do also go over here and then blend it back in so it's a little softer because you get those little dots with a sponge. You could use a one of these little guys if you like, but I find using those you get too much. There's a little less control about where it goes. So that's why I chose to do this. And then I just go over each circle. Now this flower one up here is going to be mostly covered, so I'm going to kind of concentrate down here. And you could use another color. I mean, it doesn't have to be the blue, but I like the blue because I've got the blue jar. The jar is actually cut out of Night of Navy. So I'm literally just sponging in this bottom. And again, it's okay if you go outside. So when I put my jar here, I can see I've gotten most of what you see covered up. And don't worry, that jar is really too big right now, and it's okay. It will be okay because we're going to cut it down. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now my next one, I'm going to color in my circle again, or my oval. And this one, we're going to get to see some sky and some clouds on this one. So I'm trying to go a little darker than I normally would. And you can do the whole thing if you like, but notice at the bottom of our goats, we're going to have some stamping done. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that. But I need this color. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have in the sunshine, oh, I forget the name of it. I'll put it on the list, but it has, it's the one that's got the ocean view with the sunset. It's got these little strip clouds, which I thought are beautiful. They're fascinating, and I love them. So I'm literally just going to stamp me in a cloud or two. See, that way when we have our little goats up there, we'll see a little bit of cloud cover. I don't know, I may have just went over on that one. That's all right. It'd be all right. Room for an embellishment, right? Okay. Now that's all we're going to do with that. Then we're going to come in with, in the goat or Way to Goat stamp set, there is the little shadow that goes at the bottom, which we're going to use in Sahara Sand. I use crumb cake. I use crumb cake in this one. It's in the bottom, and you don't really see it, so we're going to go all the way down it this time. So you're just going to ink it up. I actually blot it off and then put it at the bottom. And you can do it more than once if you'd like. Like I'm going to put him here just to see. He's going to go there, but I kind of want a little more at the bottom of it. So I'm going to put a little more there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I don't know that we're actually going to see that one or not. So I'm going to kind of go up as well. It's okay if you have quite a bit, because it'll just be a shadow for your short little guy, which I have not colored him yet, but he'll sit right here. And you can actually see the sky and you can see the ground on both of them. So that's perfect. All right. Now we've got the base of that done. And we can actually go ahead and put our cutout piece from the Forever Fern DSP. I use glue, just the Tombow, because I can't ever get it situated where I want. So I'm going to use Tombow. That's just the way I roll these days. Because if I put the adhesive, the Stampin' Seal, or any one of those tape runners lately, I have to peel it off. I don't have it where I want it, and then I mess up the paper and I have to start all over. And well, who wants to start a project that you're working on for hours over? I don't. So in that respect, I am going to go ahead and just do it like this. All right. Now I gotta make sure I've got it right where I want it. So I'm literally going to try to make sure the edge is where it's supposed to be, and we put the circles down, so we should know where it's going to be. There we go. Now we've got that down, and I'm going to come in here and erase my little pencil marks that you can see. And you won't be able to see very many of them. Okay. I don't have any over here that you can see. That one right there. There we go. Got those all erased. Now we've got our little spots. Now we can go ahead and put this little goat up. Just put him right there. And I'm going to use dimensionals for all of our goats. I got to find my big dimensionals here. I have them in my drawer, but they keep randomly moving. But that's because I'm randomly working. And I don't ever remember where I put them, because they're all supposed to be in a baggie, and I just put them in the drawer and forget. I'm very bad about that. I have lots of little ones, but not a whole lot of big ones left. Nope, that's not them. I had some up here. I just don't know what to do with them. Here we go. Here's a sheet. It's almost perfect. All right, we're going to put just a couple. I'm going to put one on his head and one on his belly. Don't need a lot for Mr. Goat over here. Then we're going to do our jar. All right. This, so you can see the grass, you can see the ground, you can see the goat. He's eating his flower. He's good to go. And I'm going to set this aside. Now we've already colored our flowers, and we've got our little jar. Our jar in our card is much shorter. So how do we fix that? Okay, this is what you do. I have a scrap piece of paper, just this, and I'm going to actually take, yes, I know, my tape runner. I'm going to take my tape runner and put just a little bit on this scrap piece of paper. So we have just a little adhesive on this. And we're going to put the adhesive up. It's in the way. And I'm going to set my jar on it. Okay? So I've got my jar, I've got a handle. And I'm going to take my punch, wherever I may have put my punch. Ha! I set it on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to take my punch, and I'm going to slide my punch in here, just so that you can see where it is. Actually, we need more light so you can see this. There we go. I think that's better. We'll even try this. That's unplugged. Not helping. Okay, hopefully you can see this better. So, you're going to take and put your punch right here where you can see it. Now you want to go shorter, so you just move it down in your punch. You go as low as you want to go. Now, I found I had to do it a couple of different times because it didn't go. So, it didn't go as short as I wanted to begin with. So, I've got it where I want. Punch once, and it came off. There. Now it's shorter. It cuts off this much. And I'm going to do it again because that's not as short as I want. You could leave it there. That's entirely up to you. But I think it needs to be just a little bit shorter. And again, I'm going to put this on the back. And I'm going to put it back in here. And I'm going to bring it down to where I want it. So I did this twice. Actually, I think that might be just two. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. Just about halfway between the bottom, and then I punched it again. So now I have a short jar. See? All right. Now, in order to get the lines on the jar, I'm going to go ahead and take these off because I don't want these to stand up, make my jar stand up any higher than it is. I want it flat against my card. So I want, if you've noticed in this one, there's marks, little jar shimmers. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those. I'm using just my jar stamp itself. And I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to use Memento ink because it's black. And I like the Memento ink better. And StazOn. I mean, StazOn's great. It depends on what you're putting it on. StazOn has its place, but I'm not a big fan of it. So I want the jar part on the top. So I'm just going to go over here like this. There you go. Now you see the jar, but we don't have a bottom. So I'm going to just color the bottom of the jar. You see I'm just getting the bottom. I really barely even have any on the lines here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get my head in there. I'm sorry. I'm going to go and I'm going to evenly disperse and just kind of stamp. I'm not even pressing all the way, just stamping the bottom. And it fell. There we go. And we didn't get it because I didn't have it right on there. So let's try it again. There we go. Now we've got the bottom of the jar. There you go. Now you can see there's a lot of light right there. Okay. Now you've got your jar. Now I have actually taken and seen people use clear emboss, or not clear embossing powder. You could do that, and that would just be Versamark over everything, and then clear embossing powder over it. Or you could take clear drying glue and cover your jar, and it would look like glass, blue glass, which would be very pretty. But I did not do that for this card. I do think it would be gorgeous. So now I'm going to go ahead and place my jar here. I do see some more pencil marks. And my air conditioner is running and buzzing. And how many are you done and over the heat? I know I am. All right, we've got that done. And I'm just going to glue this down with my Tombow. Just a little bit of Tombow. And we're going to put the jar down towards the bottom of your card and make sure you've got it even. And here's our jar. And then I'm going to take our flowers here and we're going to punch them up as well with some dimensionals. And because we're on the end of this sheet, we're going to use the whole thing as always and just put some extra on there. I'm going to take that off. And if you wanted to trim up some of this stuff so it wasn't so wide and so big, you could do that too. You could do really whatever you wanted to do. All right, we have that down. And let me move that out of the way. And we need to color our other little sheep here. The one that's got his eye. I mean, I really wanted to put the cinnamon. Did I really roll my eyes out loud? Because that's exactly what this little this little sheep looks like. I'm going to start with some black, just the light black. That's the dark Smoky Slate. I know I have the black up here. Here it is. It almost looks bluish, light basic black. I'm going to do his eyes, his little eyelids. I'm going to make them black, just because I think they would look better black. I made them a dark gray in the first card, but I'm going to do black. And I'm going to recolor his little eyes himself, just because, you know, they need to stand out. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that in this one too. I'm going to just color his eyes black. Because, you know, that gives him so much character. I mean, look at that. He cracks me up. It reminds me of my granddaughter. She's always rolling those eyes with that sass. So this is light smoky slate. I'm just going to color the whole guy in light smoky slate. All of him. And then I'm going to come back in with my dark color and give him some other colors. So tell me, has everybody been nice and warm, or you like sweating up everything? It's just been so hot I can't even imagine. My kids have been going fishing, and I'm like, oh, it is just way too hot to go fishing, and I'm not getting up early enough to go fishing. It's just too hot. I mean, we get up about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I think that's early as it is. And well, by the time we get up, it's already too hot. So we just don't do all of that. We don't go out there like that. Too hot. I am not a heat-driven girl. I can't wait for the fall already. Spring was nice, but it was way too short. And, you know, I thought we moved away from the hot Louisiana weather, but apparently we've not. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some dark smoky slate, and I'm just going to go around these little edges because, you know, he just looks so cute and fluffy, and he's got all these dark little streaks. We're just going to give him some shadowing. And we're going to make all of him dark up there in a minute. And then he's got a little dark in his little legs. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make his little ears dark. A really dark smoky slate instead of black. But to give it dimension, I will put the black in there. Because I like it the dark color. And let's see. We're going to make his hair black too, or this dark color. At least mostly though. It's not good, it's not perfect, but I want to shed some of this in here, some of this lighter smoky slate to blend it up a little bit. There we go. We're going to blend these in again. And then I'm going to come back in with this black, and I'm going to put some highlights here, and in his ears, just got these little creases, and maybe right here. There we go. Just a little bit of different color, make him look a little realistic. All right, and then I'm going to take my blender pen, and I'm going to kind of blend this out right here. Make his face a little lighter than the rest of him. All right, I'll leave him like that. Let him dry up a little bit. I am going to put some brown in his antlers, or horns, or whatever they're calling them. I think they're horns. There we go. And he's going to get popped up on dimensionals as well. And I'm just going to see. I think this is too much. Yes, just too much. So we're just going to put one piece there, and then we're going to pop him. Actually, before I pop him up, I want to show you how I did my sentiment. This is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and this I printed on my scanning cut. It is about 1/2 inch in height, and it's about 2 inches wide totally, and I trimmed it out to make it look detailed. And I'm just going to pop this up on that piece of the Night of Navy background. So we're going to have our little sentiment like this. And this is, again, done with my scan and cut, my brother's scan and cut. It's adorable, and I really love my machine. So I'm trying to figure out where I want. I really want this here, so I may put this up here this time. So I'm going to go here. Because if I put him down here, it covers out almost all of my ground. I mean, he could be standing on it, but like this, which is what I did the first time. And I could take him off and raise him up a little bit. And then put in some more ground, which is what I think I'm going to do. Put in some more ground stamp, which is fine. So I'm taking the Sahara Sand and my little stamp, I'm going to pull it off. And I'm just going to put like 2 more. There we go. That's enough. You won't see it like crazy, but you'll see it. Still want to see my clouds though. So I'm going to put right there. You can see the clouds behind him. There we go. And then I'm going to put my sentiment down. Whoops. And again, I'm using just a little Tombow. Maybe. Okay, got a little Tombow. And we're going to put our wheelie right in here. That's it. You can decorate the inside however you would like. I went ahead and cut one of the other, I don't see him. I had another one of the goats cut. And I colored him and put him on here. And I'm going to stamp happy birthday. And I had a strip of the DSP from the front that I put on the inside. So that's how you do this particular card. Isn't he adorable? This will go out in a blog post later this week. And I will have all the details on the YouTube channel that will get loaded today. And I will actually have it in a blog post for you later today. I hope you enjoyed the video on how to goat. And hope you, if you're having a birthday, I hope it's a wonderful birthday. And if you comment or share and share my YouTube video or this post, I will mail you one of these cards. I will pick a winner out of the shares and I will mail them one of these cards. Again, it's a Slimline card, so it fits in a regular business envelope. So if you need one of those, you've got one. They're very easy to find, and it's an adorable way to share with everyone you know. I'm going to see if I got any comments and answer them because I didn't see any. Nope, still don't see any unless someone's commenting and it's not showing them to me. If you've commented and I've not responded, I'm so sorry. I will respond to them later today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.